In this tutorial in Microsoft Office 2019, I'd like to show you how to install Office 2019 from the VLSC, or Volume License Service Center. If you obtain your copy of Office 2019 through the Volume License Service Center, I'd like to show you how to do that. I simply did this for a nonprofit recently, and it was rather complex, so let me show you how to do it. Here's the situation. You acquire a license that requires you to get it through the VLSC. You've got your activation key. The challenge is to download Office 2019, install it, and activate it using your key. In order to use the technique we're about to describe, you need to be familiar with the command line or DOS prompts. Step number 1. Go to the following link and download the Office Deployment Tool. This is a tool we're going to be using in order to download and apply the software to our computer. The page you go to will look somewhat like this. You can also get here by simply Googling or Bing searching Office Deployment Tool. Just click on the red download button and it will download the key file for that tool on your computer system. Once you've downloaded the file, navigate to the place where it is. It'll have a similar name to the one below that you see in the middle of this page. When you click on it, it will self-extract. It will extract files, and I recommend extracting them to a unique folder just for the Office Deployment Tool. Once you've placed the items in a folder and extracted them, the folder should contain something that looks like this. We're going to focus on the setup file. We're actually ignoring the other three. We're going to create one ourselves that's customized to our license of Office 2019. So now that you've got the files there, the next step is to customize an XML file with your own Office key. There's a sample of how to do that in the deployment guide that you can download as a PDF document. Unfortunately, it's 56 pages long, and the part you need is from page 8, so we'd like to show you that particular piece of that entire document. This is the area that we're going to use to create our own XML file with our own unique key for a copy of Office 2019. We're going to copy the area in gray. So here's the steps we're about to follow. We're going to copy and paste this information from the PDF that you saw on the previous screen. I'm recommending using Notepad. And when we've copied it in, we'll replace the pound signs with our own key code for Office 2019. Then we'll save the document as configuration.xml. We want it in the same directory as a setup file. Here's how to do that. Start typing in Notepad and click on that. It will take you to the Notepad application. We're going to create our XML file, but let's just do it the easy way. We're going to open up the PDF that we downloaded, and on page 8 we'll drag over the text we want, do Control-C to copy, and then we'll move this off the screen. And then we'll go back to Notepad, click on there, and go Control-V to paste. Now we have all that code in the file. Next thing you need to do is change the key code to match the key code of your copy of Office 2019. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but this just illustrates the only thing you need to change in order to use the Office Deployment Tool and this XML file. Now when we're done, we want to save it. Let's save it by clicking on the File menu at the upper left corner, and then we'll click on Save As, and then we'll click on the bottom and we'll call this configuration.xml. I'm going to call it here my configuration.xml just to show you can name it anything you want. But the recommendation is configuration.xml. And we save it in the same location that we had our setup file for Office Deployment Tool. And here's a summary of what we do next to install it. We're going to go to the command prompt now by using the following process. Use the Windows key Windows System, right-click on Command Prompt, click on More, click on Run as Administrator. We'll show you that in a moment. Then we navigate to the drive and directory where we extracted the Office Deployment Tool items. And you should see the following files if you do a dir command when you're in the command prompt. Notice the bottom one is setup.exe, and we've got our configuration XML, or whatever we wanted to call it, there, and we're going to use those two files only. Now from the command prompt, we're going to run the setup command twice. First time it will download the files from a Microsoft location on the internet. The second time it will install the files and apply our license to them. So let's do that in the real world. We'll click on the Windows key. We'll navigate in our directory here to the W area and click on Windows System folder. Then we'll right-click on Command Prompt, choose More, and select Run as Administrator. Now we're in our Command Prompt or DOS prompt. We're going to navigate to the place where we have our Office Deployment Tool, the setup file, and it may be different on how you get there on your system. And notice I did a dir so I can find out where I'm at. Then I'm going to do the download command. To download, I type setup space / download. Then I'm going to use my configuration.xml, the file I just created in the previous step, and press enter. Now when you press enter, what will happen is it will seem to freeze for a long time. It may take 5 minutes, 25 minutes, however long to download the files. But when it's done, you'll get a command prompt, and then you type the second command, setup configure, and then configuration.xml instead of setup download. And then this will apply your unique ID to the file, and it will finish the installation. When you're all done, simply type exit, and you're back to your basic Windows screen. So here's a summary again of what we just showed you. If you look on the screen above these, you have the setup / download command near the top of that page, and that will download the files to your system. Once again, here's a summary. Here's what you have to type in when you're at the command prompt, and the cursor will flash. Again, we remind you it will take some time, so be very patient because it's downloading the entire file using to install Microsoft Office onto your computer. When the download's finished, the cursor will move to the line below, and when then you enter the second command, which is setup / configure with your configuration.xml. And once again, when it's done, it may take some time, not nearly as long as a download file, but when it's finished, you'll get a command prompt on the line below again. When you're all done, you can close the command prompt by entering the exit command, and if you've entered the information correctly into the configuration.xml file, and if you've run the two commands with the correct syntax, Office 2019 should be installed on your system.